let's see if that actually does go live.
Should be fine.
And let's see if your audio is actually
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
It was perfect.
That should be
yesterday.
fine also, yes.
You think?
Hi, guys. How is it going?
Baccaroony. I quite like the thumbnail, the Borgy man.
So, welcome back, guys. Sorry we're a little bit late, but you know, got to do some housekeeping and all that jazz. Read the minutes of our last meeting, you know, all that shit. No, I'm just kidding. We don't actually do that. But anyway, I guess I'm supposed to talk. Hello, Trekyards. I enjoyed your brief chat with you earlier. Yes, it was nice seeing you. Number one sci-fi. Great. I love joining in on just other live chats and hanging out. So, speaking of, I might do that tonight for Anti-Trekkers live stream later this evening. Well, early in the morning, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. It's 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
everyone does their live streams when I'm thoroughly asleep, which is, you know, I'm fine with that. But it's like, why is it not on them? It's like, because, hey, if you're, it's always a Dad Tracker was like, if you do a live stream at 10 a.m. your time, I can probably make it.
Well, he does morning ones.
He used to
certain days of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no, you know, I'm lucky. We're lucky with a lot of things with our timings, but you know, I often get messages at like 4 a.m. from people in America like, "Hey man, did you see this?" or "Hey, can this work for me?" I'm like, could you not at least think for a second? What time is it for Sam? I know you guys are very centric, you're continent centric, and everything's at least a few hours close.
That's not it. When I think of something, I'll text or email somebody like right away because I need to do it while it's on my mind. Otherwise, I forget. So
yeah, but at least you could put like, "Sorry, don't want to wake you up," or if you see it when you see this in the morning, because 4 a.m. you should not expect me to be awake to deal with a problem. You know.
No.
I should be out of office hours by 4 a.m. and I'm not normally by 2 a.m. at least. I'm still in office hours until 2 a.m. Which is not great, but you know, American clients does that to you. You know, necessity. But yeah, we're already almost to the reset. You know, reset again. This next one might actually be quite good. You know, it might actually be. Yeah. You know, we keep every time we hope for it to be good. Last week we didn't. In a sense, we were pretty sure it wasn't going to be, and obviously I liked it you didn't. But this next one has all the potential in the world.
Yes, they're finally doing what the show's about.
And Hugh gets more than 6 lines, we hope.
We hope, yes.
Yeah. Weird. In fact, the Chateau's got more screen time than Hugh.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think it will. That is a total at the end as well. But
yeah. Well, I will start sharing, so you chat to the peeps.
Okay. Hey, peeps, how's it going? Well, let's start off with Alexa, tell me a Star Trek joke.
How does Spock make his favorite dessert? With a Jello mind mold.
That is good. Anyway, guys, for not stupid jokes, thank you for watching Trekyards. They're just dad jokes. They're not stupid. Anyway, if you want to help us out, you can do so. Have your prediction read on air by sending us a super chat, or just help us on Patreon. There's PayPal. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the description below on ways to help us and help yourself, because we do have some Trekyards merch. We have some discount codes for Eagle Moss and stuff. So lots of cool stuff down there. And don't forget, you can now join the channel. Right down beside the subscribe button, there is a join button. You can become the rank of commander, captain, or admiral, and get some bonus goodies and fun stuff for the live chats, which we really like. So if you guys want to join, please feel free. It's a great way to support us and help out the channel, and just show us that you love us. So anyway, but yeah, chime in when you can, and make sure, as always, when you get here, to hit the like button. Just hit the like button right off the hop, so you don't have to worry about it later. 97 of you here. We should have 50 likes instantly, pretty much. So make sure you hit that like button. let's see here. Gabber D, who has joined the channel. I hope they have fun. Have a fun twist in the coming episode to up the ante. And Georgie also says, at Eric Dayton, technically yes, but he was only 72 when he was frozen in the transporter buffer. In those 75 years, he didn't age. So biologically, he was only 72. I'm talking about Scotty from Relics, of course. Squadra Horse says, hi all, how's it going? Love the freighter captain. Are you saying you love the freighter Captain Foley, or you love the freighter Captain Rios? Not quite sure. I didn't say Dan joke. I said dad joke, Dan. So, no, dad joke. Dad. Father. Faja. That's right. The Faja joke. So there you go. So here we're here today to talk about our predictions for the next episode, which is tomorrow, or early this morning, as the case may be, and just have a discussion. So if you guys have any predictions, anything you want to see, anything you think we'll see, let us know with sending us a super chat, or just having joining the channel is a good way to get your comment recognized as well, because you got the badge beside your name and a different color, and it's very noticeable. So lots of ways to get your voice heard here, and we look forward to having a discussion with you guys and talk about your theories and predictions as well.
And do press that join button. I've had a lot of people join the community, and it's really cool to see the little graphics. Even in the comments to our videos now, you have a graphic next to them. And so I'm actually making a point to comment on, like, reply to comments in the comments of people that have a logo, because if someone to focus on, it's like, oh, I know he's very obviously a supporter, and have a little conversation in the comments. So please do. It's a great way of knowing who's like,
yeah.
Bridge crew.
Who's Team Trekyards, essentially. Yeah. So, Mark Lawrence says, I thought he had a bigger budget. Why does this Borg still look like he's in hockey pads? I think it looks great, to be honest. I think it's a cool looking Borg. A lot of people messaged me after this came out and said, hey, did you see Locutus in the trailer? And I'm like, no, that's not Locutus. Sure, he's bald, but it's clearly not Locutus.
So the thing about, and I would hate to think that people would bitch about this as a look, because then you give them a sense of they can't win. Either they go really budgety and high and we complain it's too different, or you go cheap looking and it looks too bad. In Rogue One they had a good excuse. When they used Darth Vader, they actually used his cheapest ever costume, replica of that, and it looked a bit dodgy, and I could tell instantly it looked like, you can see the terrible seam lines, but it's canon, and like that is the one that he had that time period, so it makes sense, even if it looks cheaper, but it's accurate. This guy, I can see they're going for more of a plated armor look, kind of a hybrid, taking that bodysuit look away from First Contact, more like the classic ones where it's like plated on, but still that sleeker look of the First Contact.
I think it looks great, man.
Yeah, well, it looks much more like a modernized TNG than a First Kind of Voyager, which is much, So I think it's great, and I'd rather have that sort of more platey, bulky look. I mean, obviously, I'd love just First Contact to come back, but he feels a lot more human now. Weirdly enough, it looks more like a guy in a suit. The First Contact ones, with all their amazing skin makeup, is like they are.
Yeah. And Medallion is responding to Mark Lawrence, and I got to make a point of it because it's funny. Fake Borg, what makes you so different than me or him? Borg, because I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Okay.
It's true.
It's so random.
Right? All right, so we got 2 super chats to start off. Eugene throws in 250 rupees. Always a pleasure to see you, Eugene. One shot in the preview reminds me of Alan Moraine. Oh, good God. Which shot is that? Because I'm interested. Is it the little Rubik's Cube thing? I don't know. Jeff Jacobs, though, $2, 51 likes, 117 watching. Let's go 125. Hashtag make Jeff pay. 132 people watching now. So, yes, let's hit that 100. I think it goes to 125 instead of 100. Let's get to 125 likes. Just if you haven't hit the like button, hit it.
I did. There you go.
Yes, we can like our own stuff.
And Eric Dayton, I always wonder why the inside of the artifact cube looks different to the cubes from First Contact and Voyager. And this is one thing that Mojo and some other people that worked on Trek, that built Borg cubes for the show, said that this new cube is very much plates. It's lots of uniform shapes on top of each other to create detail. Whereas if you look at all of the Borg cubes, they started out being, safety pins and, pipes. It's lots of just detail on top. And Voyager and such, it was pipes and grills and it's a certain sort of detail, whereas this cube is much more like just on top of geometric shapes. It's a very stylistically different cube. It's clearly not of the same design as the other ones. It is a different sort of cube.
But as we've talked about before, each cube encounters different species, different ships, different races. They will assimilate those and incorporate that into their Borg cube design. And if it doesn't get passed on to another cube, then,
I mean, it would have been nice to have, although I guess they'd just turn it off, but it would have been nice to have some areas of the cube in this version have that same look from Voyager with the green blinkies and the strobe. Like it's such a it doesn't. If you did pictures of the inside of the cube, you wouldn't think that's a Borg cube. You just wouldn't. There's very little visual except the alcoves. But it's been 14 years of being converted, so I mean, you wouldn't keep that stuff on. Why would you? You'd rip stuff out and. So that it works fine, although the aesthetic is certainly quite changed.
Well, we have a new member to the channel, Mr. J. White 84 is now a captain. So welcome to the rank of captain, sir.
Beat me to it.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Eugene says, no, it's the shot after the Rubik's Cube, the room with the lamps on the floor. Yeah, I think that's just a piss poor attempt at a romantic look. We're having a romantic evening. Between Soja and Nick, and I just don't care.
But do you care about what Lady Wanderer says? Two possibilities. Change for change's sake, or change for the sake of change as per usual with Bad Robot, or it's a Romulan-designed cube because the Romulans made the Borg with a face.
I certainly hope that's not the case, even though I feel like the narrative is driving that way. But like Sam said, I mean, they've had this cube for 13 years now, at least 13, 14 years, and they've been working on it. So, of course, they're going to make it more comfortable. They're going to add their own rooms and feel to it to, not have it be so alien, I guess.
I mean, look what Kirk did on Vulcan in like a week. Completely redid the interiors. So in 14 years, I think...
That was 3 months.
Well, you know what I mean. That was a smaller ship, but... completely changed the bridge design. I think they could do that to a Borg cube.
Yeah. Ozzy says the Romulans are the new Borg. Yes. Gabber D says it's a disco Borg. They can look different. Everything looks different. It's one of the cubes that came back with Voyager, says David Smith. And I don't know about that.
What do you mean came back with? A sphere came back with Voyager and was destroyed. There's no came back with Voyager. That's a non. Yeah. It's a non. I've heard that a few times. It's like, did you watch Endgame? Well, that's what we complained yesterday about people saying to us, did you watch DS9? But it's like you don't remember, sort of thing. I think also use a sphere because the cube would look too big. It would be a very odd scene, and I guess even with the Borg's collective destroying itself, you wouldn't think that fleet could destroy one cube because one cube is already powerful enough to kill everyone. Sphere, you can kill a sphere, it's fine.
BigZebra.com says, hey Trekyards, the captain has really sent his beard game into high gear. Congrats. Are you talking about this? Yeah, I've been contemplating shaving this and trimming it. And I'm getting a big from behind the monitor from Sylvia, so I don't know.
She wants someone to hold on to.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Oh, the story of this, how I never had facial hair, and then I had facial hair, and then Trekyards happened, and then we had an avatar made, and I'm like, shit, I gotta get the facial hair, and it's a whole story, it's a whole thing, so I can't shave it off now because it's iconic.
It's canon.
Captain Foley, yeah.
I mean, you could obviously, if you move your TOS era character into, say, Wrath of Khan, and when Red wants some Maroon, then he can have no facial hair. But if you want to play yourself as Captain Young Foley, then you have to grow it back.
So I'm stuck with it, but yeah, I'm trying to make it like cool looking, but it's weird because it grows funny, and Yeah, and it's a long story. But thank you for the compliment.
Nice. So we
Ozzy says, "Hi, Admiral from the Admiral," because he's an admiral. He joined the channel at Admiral rank, so they can have a special Admiral connection. They're all dicks anyway. All admirals are dicks.
I still feel like I should have Commander-in-Chief.
There you go. All right. BigZebra.com says, Trekyards, how did we know you aren't the Mirror Universe version of the Captain? Well, you don't, and that's the thing. The Mirror Universe version of the Captain has an eye patch. It's true.
We've seen him a couple of times.
Yeah, he is appropriately sinister. Right?
Jeez. It's true.
Yeah. No.
Twisted with melancholy says, doesn't artifact imply that this cube is very old, ancient, and that the Romans have secretly had it for a while?
Well, 14 years at least, so... I don't know. That might need some clarification. That's why it's called that. I just assume it's because it's something they've had for 14 years. And so it's just become the artifact. It was once something else.
The thing is, though, this isn't our race that's named it. So therefore, the naming conventions of Romulans is not something we understand exactly. So their word for... we heard the lady say there is no word for mythology. So I'm sure their word for artifact is slightly different. So their word for artifact might be more treasured possession that is found and needs to be secured. Artifact. So I definitely don't think it's an old cube. Voyager happened before Nemesis, which happened before 14 years ago. So I would be fine with saying that the cube is it was in Alpha Quadrant Endgame. It lost connective tissue with the Borg collective. The Borg drones either went crazy or died or whatever, and they found it before we think they found it. I guess round up the drones, put them in stasis, whatever. So it's older than they think, but it's just treasured, it's special, and obviously they've made a lot of their money, wealth, technology made from that tech.
That being said, with the different, unique look of it, some of the gouges in it and really cool stuff in it, it could be that it's an older cube, and they figured that out when they got a hold of it, and so that's why it's called that. That could be another indication as well.
It's also just
cubes just look different.
It's also just a branding thing. We're not going to call it the Destroyer of Galaxy Universe People Borg Cube. Let's call it the Artifact. That sounds nice. Let's rebrand it something positive, and that's a good name for it. I think that was actually a nice touch. It's interesting. It implies things. But yeah, if it was an older cube, and that'd be certainly interesting to who might be on the cube there in terms of assimilated people. I don't know how long you can live as a drone, but it'd be kind of interesting if there were people from the NX era, assimilated along the way, that are on this cube. Imagine de-assimilating them who are now 400. What stories could they tell?
Well, it's interesting because they're trying to find out what happened with the submatrix collapse. What caused it? What caused all the Romulans that got assimilated as, I assume, the last ship to get assimilated by these Borg to all go crazy, because they are all crazy, and they made a point of saying that. And despite what was said in dialogue, these are not the only Romulans to be assimilated. We saw assimilated Romulans in Voyager.
And First Contact, if you actually look closely.
Yeah, and those could be Vulcans too if you're just looking. But in the neutral zone, we had heard that colonies on both sides of the neutral zone have been scooped out, which we find out later is from the Borg. So I don't buy that for a second.
Remember, Borg don't destroy, they assimilate. So when they say scooped out, they mean all the people have been assimilated.
Yeah.
No one was left. They weren't killed. But as we said, Hugh just means that he knows of on this cube. And this cube doesn't have access to all the information. Because I wouldn't think it realistic that one cube has all the information of every other cube. They couldn't store that much information, so there is a finite amount you can learn from the data banks.
Yeah. And Jarzia puts in $5 and says, artifact, an object made by a human being, typically an item of culture or historical interest. Cultural or historical interest, not necessarily old. And exactly, if this was a historical moment that somebody actually... Well, this cube got separated from the collective because of the submatrix collapse, and they now basically own it. So that might be the reason that it's called the artifact as well. So
And not just that, but I wouldn't put it past them that because the Romulan ship was the last they assimilated, what if they e-chebbed it? If they sent that ship deliberately to try and take this Borg cube, because they know that maybe Borg tech is a secret to some great thing they have to do, and so then it is the artifact because it means so much. And this is the last great plan was to capture this thing. They couldn't do it with force, but they could do it with strategicness.
Mm.
But that's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't have to be old.
Well, I think too there might be some kind of link to the Zhat Vash and the submatrix collapse. Because let's say this Romulan ship that got assimilated was sent in specifically to try to capture this cube and create this submatrix collapse, or maybe destroy the entire collective as a result of that, and it just failed and just separated to one cube. That might be interesting as well, and that could tie in with Hugh, because in TNG they wanted to send Hugh back with that virus or that thing that would destroy the Borg collective essentially. So there could be ties in that way as well. So lots to think about for sure.
And I wonder how much this will really be said in season 1. They can't finish all the threads. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a continuing thing. I mean, if the Borg cube really is just a location, because they also get the cube in the next episode, and they presumably leave the cube in the next episode, then, is there going to be a great payoff? I don't know. Or are they going to say in a season and a half, oh, there were great secrets of this cube the entire time?
Tuning 3434 says 203 watching, only 88 likes. That's distasteful. Make Jeff pay. Yes, guys, 210 of you here right now. Please hit the like button. Let's get the likes up to at least above 100. He's at 125 because I think he's getting cheap in his old age. But that's fine. He has to pay like pretty much every live, so I feel bad for the guy. He doesn't have to pay; he chooses to. So he gets to call out the goals. But still, I would like to see 125 likes. Should be easy with 215 of you here now.
Dude, I want to see 200. I'll be honest.
Well, yeah, I'm working my way up to that. Don't want to shell shock them right
Well,
Eugene though throws in 500 rubles.
Hey.
That room doesn't feel like a date thing to me. More like a trap, creepy game room like Alamarain. I think this room is the impossible box. Any connection to the shape from I Borg? Maybe. I love that you mentioned impossible box, and then we see the Rubik's cube that has this like figure rise up from it. I think that's probably an ancient Romulan artifact that because the one Romulan was playing with it. In when she went to talk to what's her name? Ramda. And it could be that the figure that rises up is in fact the destroyer, as foretold by this ancient puzzle game or something. I don't know. I think there's some kind of tie in that way. But the room is just, I think it's just, hey, let's build on our relationship.
We did it with the smoke room thing. So
yeah. And I mean, Soji's box has already been solved. I mean, he got pulled to Soji's box like the first time they met. So,
she was begging for it to be solved.
And she's anatomically correct. So that's good. Pandemonium. Trekyards. The Borg in the picture look quite like a TNG era Borg or earlier. I think the ancient cube theory might be right. Could be. I mean, we will find out. Brian Kesterson says the Tesseract. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the
but I want to start with really where this episode ends, because you can't just start fresh. This episode ends with Agnes Jurati flat out killing Maddox with an EMH, knowing that at least she did not let the EMH save the patient that was dying for some weird reason. Now, surely, as in predictions, how much will it be actually addressed or talked about or even referenced? Because you would think it should be a big introductory driving force.
It should be the first thing that happens in this episode. They should be running down to the sick bay because they got an alert that he passed away. and calling up the emergency medical hologram to. But I think off camera after we descended, I think she probably the first thing she did was went and altered the EMH's memory.
Yeah.
To kind of, I don't know. It'll have to be addressed for sure because he was on the mend. The computer had said, his hemoglobin rate or whatever was up 12%, and the EMH made a point of saying, if you stop the micro whatever repairs that are going on, he's going to die. So he was on the mend.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. It's going to start with a flashback, though. It always does.
Okay, so I'm gonna on this point. I think it's gonna start with a flashback to a young Daj and Soji, and actual twin actors, twin girl young people, which is why you can do it easily. Yeah. And Maddox, we've always seen him with his darker beard, so he'll be just made to look younger with that, and we'll see him on this planet, but it'll actually be like, partly holographic. That the world they see is holographic because at least they get to see something, even if it's not real. But the house is real, and then he'll see like we kind of had with Enterprise with Sung talk to his little augment children. Very similar scene, which then cuts to from him being like, "Don't worry, girls, I'll never leave you." Cuts right back to his face of like. And then Agnes is going to like look at him like, I'm sorry. And then it'll cut right from that. So now right at the same moment, it'll cut to Picard talking to the captain about something else. And then the EMH will appear and say, gentlemen, the patient is now flatlined. And they'll say, what? And they'll run in, and then she'll be like acting that because she's such a bad actor or bad liar, she'll act as if it was a complication, and then she'll bluff her way out of it. But we'll get to see all those little emotional things, and then they'll be like, well, what happens next? And then we'll kind of go from there. That's kind of what I think will happen, or at least what I would do.
Well, did you watch The Ready Room last week?
I actually haven't watched either of the last two for some reason.
Okay,
keep forgetting.
I think the the flashback is going to start with young just Soji, just the one, and that's that scene we saw of her in the hallway with the doll. They showed a scene of the flashback scene essentially, so I kind of know where it's going to start if that's a flashback.
Oh, well, I was right then. Maybe.
Where she sees a door open at the end of the hallway. She walks in. There's a bunch of orchids, and she sees a man behind them, which is her dad, working. And she goes around the table, and he yells, "No, Soji, get out of here!" So he's going to be working on something. So that's where it's going to start, I think, and then we're going to immediately start on the Borg cube with Soji waking up.
Oh well, yeah.
Probably Teneric. and then they do their whatever. But so I don't think we're going to start on the list La Serena, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're probably going to ignore it and just say, "Oh, they didn't know."
Yeah, he died off. It's going to be one of those. Oh, he passed away,
and no one cared. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's where it's going to start with that flashback, and then start on the Borg cube, because we didn't get any Borg cube last episode. So I think they're going to overdo it this month. Well, obviously, because they actually go to the Borg cube. So we got 2 super chats, though.
Oh,
Jake puts in $5 and says, "I changed my number to reflect larger audience, but I'm also lowering the number every person that joins in between. We had 1, so 120, again at 200. And that should be fine, Jeff, yes. Tuning 3434 puts in €5. At Jeff F5, it's the 123 like at my side. Pay up. Okay, we have 237 people here now, so if you're new, hit the like button, and let's get those likes up, because likes are important to the channel. So is subscribing to the channel, and even the notification bell, hitting it to all. You get notifications for all the lives, and it's actually an analytic that helps the channel. So do that, and then don't forget the join button down there. We already had 1 member join today. We got a new captain in the ranks, so I just want to thank again Mr. J White 84 for joining. It means a lot, and it
does.
It helps, and plus you get really cool emojis. Like, I'll spam the emojis now that you can put in the chat, so you can. There you go. There's all of them. Boom, boom, baby.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to start on the Borg cube, and then go into perhaps that scene with the room, the romantic date, because they need to build up that he's falling in love with her, she's falling in love with him, whatever. They force fed us that with the sliding scene, which I think was unearned.
The thing is, I think now we're past that. This is episode 6. We're over halfway. We will be. Based on the way that based on the sort of the, and we'll get there in a second with these images, I don't get the sense that he's not going to go down that route. He's been forced by his sister to go faster, so he's going to abandon that pretext and just, because he's trying to manipulate her. Everything's a manipulation, everything. And so the I love you is trying to put that thought in her brain. So I think from now on, it's going to all be about making her think about who she is, unlock that, and then be there with her, helping her, which will make him a good guy to her, and she might tell him where everyone else is. Try that tact. The opposite to, we're kidnapping you, rather than, we're making you friends, but saying all these different things to confuse you, and I don't think we're going to keep fighting. Like, he'll keep maybe saying, oh, I love you, or whatever, but he'll be so, like, he doesn't mean it in a single point. I mean, he's just kind of like forcing it into her brain so that she knows it, even if, you know. So I think we're past that subtlety point, because it's halfway through the season, and there isn't that many episodes left. And we're going to the cube, and we're going to rescue her this week. So it's like, I mean, you haven't got more time. You've used all your time to build that relationship, and it's failed. So why do any more?
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, last episode we got the realization that the Zat Vash, or at least Tal Shiar, had found Maddox's laboratory and dissolved everything with a solvent, chemical, whatever.
Although, you could argue that if it took them 2 weeks to not go get Maddox, as in Vajazel put up the...
You said it right.
I said Vajazel.
Oh.
It's Vajazel, I know.
It's Vajazel.
I know. She put the bounty up for 2 weeks. The come and get us Tal Shiar. They didn't go for 2 weeks. Now, might that imply that Maddox thought that Tal Shiar were after him? Could have been a third party. Because Tal Shiar didn't try and get him after that. 2 weeks is a long time.
True enough.
There's no actual evidence. I mean, maybe it was his own children. Maybe it was his own trying to...
Maybe that's why I think it was the Zat Vash that did it. So when they reached out to the Tal Shiar like, huh? What?
Yeah. It depends how...
Not interested. So
depends how deep that goes. Yeah, because why would the Tal Shiar themselves like Maddox? They're like, why would we want an ex... Special? We don't do mechanoids in our culture. Why would we have... We don't have mechanoid scientists until we do.
Yeah. Well, Lizzie Smith puts in £10. So thank you very much, Lizzie. Going to delay watching these in future. Watch your reviews before the episode. Don't want a nasty surprise like last week. It just messed me up.
Oh.
New way, I think, is... anyway, I think that as an AI expert, Girardi will just modify the EMH. Yeah, she is an AI expert, so that's actually a very valid point.
Well, no, she's a synthetic android specialist, but she could be in building them, fit the parts. They've not they've not said anything about her being able to build the memory stuff. She might be able to build great hands, feet, legs. So I wouldn't, and they're not AI in the same way. So I wouldn't necessarily go that far. And she would have to know how holograms work to access it properly. I doubt that she can, get on a space phone, right, how to delete memory on a hologram. Well, I don't know how holograms work, but this and this. It's not exactly transferable skills. They could probably just say it is, but you wouldn't think it'd be that exact transferable.
Yeah, Google would have the answer. It's fine.
Space Google.
Even though in Avenue 5, there was the great collapse of Google. That was according to news outlets, men who have beards or goatees can contract coronavirus easier. Well, I'm not too worried about it.
What, from like 1% to 0.5%? You're either going to get it or you're not, Stuart.
Exactly. I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the heads up.
You don't go out enough anyway. Neither do I.
That's true. I'm very much a hermit.
Because we talk to you guys instead.
Yeah, and we can't get coronavirus through a live chat.
Yeah. But Kevin Tipcorn says, I'm not convinced Maddox wasn't a Maddox decoy robot.
I like that. I really do, because I want to see more of Maddox. And like I said, we'll see him in flashbacks and stuff if it was him.
We hope.
Yeah.
Crossing them fingers.
you would think that Girardi might know that or suspect that. I don't know.
They don't get any time together to know if he... I mean, they've been separated for so many years now.
Yeah. Well, Eugene, though, throws in 250 rubles. I'm afraid they would pull a disco, with its drunksman binge watch serialization, and the Maddox situation won't be addressed at all until the very end of the episode. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Or the season.
Yeah.
It depends how... they've had so little story in these 5 that it might just keep going slower, and not necessarily slower and slower, but it might be just as slow for the next, next lot.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my prediction. I was going to start out with that flashback to young Sloji, and then it's going to jump immediately to the Borg cube.
Yeah, and then I guess straight to Picard on his way to the Borg cube, or at least asking the guy, go to the Borg cube. Okay.
In the preview, there's a part of the conversation with Rios and Picard where, which I don't know if you want to pull up that picture. It was one of the first ones, where they're like, we're going to be on a Borg cube with no authorization. So there's going to be that conversation immediately following the Borg cube scene. Now, what happens in the Borg cube scene, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen, but that'll be the next scene probably. I can't see that being the end of the episode because we do see a bit of stuff on the Borg cube, and we hear the thing, we got to get out of here quickly or whatever they say. So I think there's going to be at least half of this episode is going to be on the Borg cube with Picard and them on the Borg cube.
Well, it's balanced, isn't it? They had to do one full episode just to get through that story bit, to then do this episode. It finally meets up. But I'm looking at pictures of this episode and the fact that I was going to focus on the Soji, finding out who she is, and I realize as I'm looking through pictures, I really don't care. We know what she is.
Yeah.
We're waiting for information about how she is, about Data. We don't care about the Soji character. We really don't. It's such a small non-character at this point, beyond what they mean in the grander scheme, that, okay, she finds out who she is. Okay.
Well, I think is it Picard's voiceover that says this? I think she's close to being activated or something.
No, that's the other one.
Okay, because she's a scene where she's sorting through pictures of her and her friends or whatever.
Yep, that's what I mean.
Which is the same picture? Same pictures there twice. I don't know if you noticed that on each side of her hand. One's upside down. It's the same picture. So I don't know if that's a deliberate thing or a lazy mistake.
It's funny as what it is.
Yeah.
But we can.
Yeah, you're right. I don't care about Soji.
Because she's the means to the end plot. She's not actually the. She doesn't mean anything really. Now she might be important season 2 in the search for Brent Spiner, but she's just not an interesting anything at this point, which is weird. And so her finding out what we already know. Yeah. That's why it's always tricky to give the audience so much foreknowledge, because there isn't a reveal. And if she spends 10 minutes Jason Bourning it, where she tries to remember who she is and but I'm not who I think I am. Now, that granted, we said that about the city outfits. They might dwell on that for too long, so there might only be a 15-second moment. We move past it. I'm kind of hoping it is. But shall we jump into the actual order? So the first screenshot is the La Serena at warp, with that sort of a new version, very Discovery style of shot. Still don't like the fact that all the glows are the same basic colour. There's no sort of what's impulse, what's warp. Shut up. Who cares? It feels like. Although it actually has landing legs.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Which I kind of hope.
Well, it's small enough. I mean, I can see it easily.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Now that's the thing. How are they going to get aboard the Borg cube? Are they going to land in a hangar bay with fake clearance? Are they going to beam aboard? Are they going to confiscate a Romulan ship and get aboard that way? because you got to think about how they're going to do that. Probably just beam would be my guess, but I don't know.
Well, if I was to make a guess, I'd say they might get into the space, sort of try one maneuver of getting in, and then they sort of fail, and then Hugh realizes, like, Hugh hears Picard's there, and we see him in the Borg cube, like, Jean-Luc Picard, tractor them in. You know, he takes command of the situation, and he vouches them and gets them in, because he's, you know, in charge of a certain part of that, and obviously he has a very distinct connection with Picard. And you would think that after what happened in everything in between, that they would have reconnected over the last 20 years once he was back in Federation space. Like, you would assume they would have seen each other since Descent Part 2. My God, I hope they have.
I don't think they have.
No, I don't think they have either, but they should have. Would have made sense. I mean, Picard's the first person he would have went to. As soon as he wanted to do a plan, he should have gone to Picard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same, the Enterprise. I mean, obviously, Picard and then Geordie's right there.
Well, Ozzy Medeiros says they beam over during warp, which I disagree with 100% because of the scene a couple pictures later where you see the Lusarina sitting there with the Borg cube. Like, they're within, definitely within scanner range. Looks like they're facing a wall of drones, because it looks like there's drones lined up. We saw many drones on the pan down in the first episode. So there's some kind of protective, sentry field or something surrounding it.
It's very logical they probably use the transport beaming that Scotty invented in Star Trek 09.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, that exists. You can't take that away from this universe. So, I mean, unfortunately, they can. They should be able to beam in warp to this stationary target, transport beaming. I mean, there you go.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes. 266 people here. Everybody hit like. Sorry.
And it is. It's just all the more funny transport beaming, because they say that you can beam between planets so easily, but in Children of Mars, the dad says, I can't come home for at least a year, even though you can beam between planets without any effort whatsoever. And so he could come home to hug her goodnight. He's choosing not to go home because he's a shitty parent. Because you yourself, Kurt's been invented transport beaming, which lets you beam massive distances. Just makes me laugh.
If you need transporter relays between Earth and Mars, you'd have those, obviously, because it's a well-established solar system.
Planitia, yeah.
And even at warp, it's like a couple minutes from Mars to
seconds. I mean, seconds are high warp.
Oh, at high warp, yes, but I mean, at
casual
low warp, like a shuttle or something, it could be like a few minutes. 20 minutes, something like that.
So him saying that...
even too long. But.
Him saying that is another example of them just not understanding the Star Trek universe, because it's like, and the daughter should be smart enough to say, but why, Dad? You could beam, transport beam, shuttle, ship, ferry. Well, because I hate you, child. Oh. That's why she beat people up, because she knows her dad hates her.
And Sirius said that should not exist, different timelines.
Nope. It does exist, because Spock brought that information from this timeline. And he gave the equation to this timeline Scotty. Because once Scotty was out in Relics, he went on to be an engineer again, which is great. It's nice to hear. At least that reference meant he didn't just retire and go to a vineyard somewhere and die. He actually did try and do things. Inventing transport beaming is a great thing to have done as a, post-retirement, out-of-time Scotty. Good job, mate. Just wish they'd care.
Eugene says it's 20 minutes from Mars to Earth at warp 1.
Yeah, and that's nothing. Darth Maul, but you can't go to warp in a solar system, except when you do.
Which is all the time.
I mean, NX-01. Have you seen Enterprise NX-01? The first scene of it's... They leave dry dock and go to warp. It's like, it's the first thing they do.
Well, honestly, that's Enterprise, though. The solar system is a lot less cluttered than... But yeah, in the motion picture, they make a point. You can't, it's unsafe to go to warp in at least Earth's solar system because there's so much stuff. So,
but obviously the sensors will be so much more advanced by then that they could probably go around that. I mean, we saw that
sorry. And Daniel Hall says, you're assuming the writers actually know the movies in JJ verse canon. They can't even keep their own canon straight in Discovery.
Yeah, well, we know it better than they do. We're trying.
Yeah.
We give them outs all the time, Medallion says, have you noticed that they didn't mention the warp speed of the Serena? They just go to warp, not warp 8, 7, 9. I mean, I would just assume it's kind of like a taxi. It's like, take me to my house, and he goes by lawful speeds. Without any direction to go zooming fast. I assume he's at like a generic warp 6, which is cruising speed, or smaller if he's a smaller ship. And if he says go faster, it's more money, or whatever.
Yeah. And Super Coops, who we haven't seen in a while. It's nice to see you again, sir. He's also a member of the channel. Haven't been here for a while. Missed you guys. Missed you too. So welcome back. Live long and prosper. Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good to see you again.
All right. So, so after that picture you got up there, then we have the conversation between Rios and Picard, where it's basically like, we're going to be on a Borg cube, unauthorized
in Romulan space.
Yes.
And I hope they do have some sort of reference to we're crossing the border now, rather than they just sort of skipped them already crossing the border, already breaking treaties, and then, but nice there's some sort of link there. And boy, this picture of the two of them, doesn't Elnor just feel so like third wheel to the scene?
Tacked on.
Yep. I'm sure it'll be useful in the cube with his sword, and he can help stab the drones, the many drones that exist around. But I wonder if he's going to be given any sort of arc this season, like anything at all.
It's hard to say. I would say no at this point.
I would say no too. Learning to be able to lie is not an arc. I'm sorry. Because that's it. That's all we've got so far.
Yeah.
Although I really liked the way that Rios approached even this half line in the trailer. Again, he's not this jackass I thought he might be.
Yeah. Jarzia, though, $2 Canadian. Thank you. Less cluttered equals 0.00001%. Minus 0.00001 collision chance. Yeah. Wow. I was just being. Anyway.
Yeah.
You be quiet, you. But if you're going to talk, Super Chat's the way to do it. Good call.
And guys, do Super Chat. 300 people. We've had less than 10 Super Chats currently. So we'd love to know what you think is going to happen in this next episode. Obviously support the channel as you go, please, if you can. If you can't, just enjoy. But if you can, please do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get it's a great shot too of the Borg cube with the little Serena sitting there. And again, you can see some of the drones or whatever are lined up in front of them. I would assume they can't beam onto the cube unless they get past that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you assume something this valuable and special, you need approval. Yeah.
It'd be neat if Picard knew that Hugh was serving on board this cube, and he tries to contact him somehow.
The Hugh cube.
The Hugh cube.
I hope so.
Huge. Huge.
Well, unless this shot is to scale and the last arena is actually massive.
No.
We know how they are with scale, or at least Discovery was. But it does kind of help to have ships just fly not ever with any other ships. You can't tell scale then.
Yeah.
No, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if he knew, I know an ex-Borg I once know. Hugh is there. And thing is like, more ex-Borg? Yes. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're finally getting to this point. But what's sad is it feels so underclimactic. It's neither anticlimactic or climactic. It's like, okay, they're here now. The build-up was terrible. Like the pacing to get here. This should have been an epic moment. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like this is the start of the plot to let the plot start. But this you'd think would be the epic. Wow, they got to the Borg cube. You're just like, okay, great. Now that the Borg cube stuff can happen. Yeah, that's worrying. That's really not a good sign.
Yeah. Well, Not a Band account puts in $2 and says, this episode, Picard apologizes again, but to Hugh. Sorry we let you down, Hugh.
For the third time.
Sorry I didn't bring Geordi along, Hugh.
And for some reason you're blaming me for the Roman evacuation. I'm sorry, Hugh. For some reason. No, it's a good point. Now, do you think, because I'm pretty sure that between two episodes, the amount of force fields grew. And I don't think the corners was force fielding in the previous episodes. I thought we only ever had one big gash, not that many small ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because someone's saying,
It's just in its damage from when they acquired the cube. They probably flew a ship or two into it
yeah,
to cause damage, because that's what it looks like for that
the
big section.
Deredex just went bump. But someone did say a while ago that
that would actually create a quantum singularity drive that would suck the cube into it.
It's fine. These red matter to unquantum singularity it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But no, or are they disassembling the cube? Is that part of what they're doing? One of our fans suggested that a while ago, and they're actually just pulling components apart.
I think so. I think because it's the reclamation facility, right? So.
Because you can't imagine that they're only interested in reclaiming people. That doesn't seem very ingenuous, disingenuous. It doesn't feel like you can even justify that as they're just there to help people. It's like, no.
Michael Collane, he's now the rank of commander.
Oh.
Welcome, Michael. Thank you for the support and enjoy your new emojis.
Yes, use them well. Thank you. Welcome.
I thought Matt Deckard said cleavage, but I had the
cleaves.
I was wondering why he said cleavage. I like cleavage, but
yeah. Although Rob Rudd has an interesting point. What is being used for new tech like the Scimitar and the Narada? Although now we know the Narada is decanonized as Borg tech because the comic is no longer canon, so it was never said in canon the Borg tech, so it's irrelevant then. But what if the Scimitar? What if they've had this cube a lot longer than any of us thought? And the Scimitar was what if the secret to Fate, shooting while cloaked was actually the Borg cube? What if that was its first contribution to Roman society? Is that good or bad?
that'd be good, I guess. See, and we can't discount the entire Countdown comic because they pick and choose what they choose to still be canon and what they decanonize.
But that's not how canon works.
I'm well aware. They don't know how canon works.
I'm well aware.
Oh. We're just telling each other things we already know.
And I'm well aware of that too.
With a bunch of people eavesdropping in our conversation.
Oh wait, are people watching?
313 of them, actually. So you know what, guys? That's a great number. Hit the like button if you just joined us, and if you're enjoying the conversation and you want to be part of it, by all means, super chat. But hit that like button, as it's very important. So, Jarzia, $5. Huge. The damage you caused. Oh, Hugh. I think you meant Hugh, not huge. The damage you caused when you infected the collective. Picard. That was Janeway. Hugh. Well, you're here, so I'm blaming you. Picard. Merde.
It would be good if Hugh mentions Janeway and what they did in the Delta Quadrant. That would be a very natural connection. It's like when Janeway destroyed Matrix Zero, that caused ripple effect, which made this cube go haywire. Great. That's very... I mean, these things should have been mentioned. Obviously, Seven did mention things last week, to some extent, but not as much as it could have done. Now, do you think, while we're on this pitch, do you think that the approach in the Borg cube tonally is a challenge, easy, or almost like they've got permission from Hugh and it's not really as big as it could be? What do you think?
I think it's just easy, with no explanation as to why it's easy.
Okay.
Getting in Romulan space to the cube because there's no neutral zone anymore is going to be easy.
Yeah.
But you can pass this defense grid. That's going to be where Hugh comes in. Is my feeling, because we do have Starfleet personnel, well, Federation members on the cube.
Mm-hmm.
At least one. We haven't really seen. Well, we've seen a bunch of other aliens, but
I mean, you can assume Soji and the Black Lady are, so yeah.
And Tuning 3434 says Trekyards captain ousted as fake Canadian confirmed. Why? What did I do now?
Oh no.
Because I like cleavage. And because I said Meard, and I said it probably with a really awful French accent because I can't speak French to save my life. Just because you're Canadian doesn't mean you know French.
It's true. Unless you're that side of the thing.
Yeah, but then you're not Canadian, then you're just French Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience at all. Oh, that's so tight. Right.
Yeah. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Well, there's money in it. Oh, I love it now. What? Now, people did sort of in the chat as well that Borg tech now seems to be going for a high price. So I can imagine that maybe they're. Oh, it would be interesting if they said at one point that what was the new Romulan arm that are like recreating or bringing to new life the Romulan Republic? Was it like the Romulan Rebirth movement? Something like that.
Yeah, the Romulan Rebirth movement.
There you go. Wouldn't it be interesting if they are like funding their rebuild of their society by selling off Borg cube pieces? I mean, if you would assume that there are billions of pieces on the cube, even exterior pieces that have nanites and such, that Seven is useful. But I mean, if they own this Borg cube, then what if that's like helping to rebuild the Empire via its resources and what it can bring? That's why it's in so many pieces, because they are deconstructing it to.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I do think they are definitely deconstructing the whole entire thing, but what they're using the pieces for,
And that'd be kind of fun to see at the end of the season, like a Borg enhanced Romulan ship warp in, and we're like, oh, yeah.
And Rhode Island says, Captain, have you got highlights in your hair? No. I don't put highlights in my hair. Frost my tips.
Did you ever do that?
It's actually going kind of gray. I just haven't really. I had a hat on earlier, and it's just kind of.
It's also the light.
It's not spiked like it used to be, like it usually is. Anyway, no.
Did you ever frost your tip in the 90s?
Fuck no. When I was a kid, I had like really, 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 really blonde hair. So much so, my nickname was the Golden Goose, because I was always out in the sun. I was always in the pool with the chlorine. So I had like blonde hair, and then it kind of went like a dirty blonde, and now it's kind of going gray, but you can't tell. I mean, you can tell in certain light, you can see some gray, and then everybody draws me with brown hair. Sean Turinjo, our avatar's got brownish red hair. This guy that made our little Lego figures for us, here's Samuel. Right?
Good.
And there's me with red hair. I do not have red hair. I have brown hair. I have blonde hair. I have dirty blonde hair. It's got a little darker over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me as if you have my hair looks browner than yours right now. If it's light to me, you look like you have a dark, a grey black, but like.
Well, if you had to describe me to the police, which might be the case someday, would you say I had blonde hair?
No.
What would you say?
Light brown black.
Light brown black.
Not black, because you got a little bit of brown, but it's more black than like my hair looks browner, so you're not brown.
Dirty blonde.
Or very dirty, like you rolled around like pig dirty, like you rolled around in the mud dirty. If you want to go. Where's the blonde? I mean, I don't know which bit looks blonde. I don't know.
When it gets longer, it looks more blonde. Just shut the hell up.
It's when I get my beard. My beard goes into ginger. Really, like at a certain point, it's like boop. Now it's just bright ginger. It's like damn. Not so good. Sorry, we're just having a conversation now, guys.
Rhode Island says, love the haircut. What does Sylvia think? She's given the AOK symbol. She loves it. There you go. Anyway, so no.
Fisher 2000. Why hasn't this cube regenerated?
Because it's been severed from the collective. And as a result, probably all of the drones just didn't know what to do. Now they're either reclaimed or they're still in stasis after the Romulans took it over. Because it basically, when the submatrix collapse happened, the Borg just cut it off like a limb and left it. They made a point of saying that, so it was just severed from the collective. So they wouldn't know what to do. They would have been in disarray. So.
And I would still assume that whatever happened that caused it. Change the paradigm of how it would or wouldn't be, like there might have been automatic, or we can't let this tech get into the hands of anyone else. But this scout ship that was considered changed the base code, reprogrammed it, stopped it from doing what had to be done, allowed it to be properly captured.
Ventress 55 puts in £5. Why would Starfleet allow Romulans to control an asset like a cube? No neutral zone, no Romulus. Surely they could secure it easily. It's probably part of a new negotiated treaty. Like they captured this cube, and I don't know. That's a very good question. What gives Starfleet the right to step into their territory and say, "Oh, this is ours," because F you? No.
I mean, it's all politics, isn't it? You know, why do we let other countries have nuclear weapons? Well, we don't allow them. They do it, and we all have treaties to stop us from killing each other. No one allows anybody. The fact that they allow other races to study it imply that I'm sure what the Romans did is they went clever, as they often do. They said, "Hey, we found this thing. We can't utilize it ourselves. Let's make the unified Borg agreement, and everyone will sign it, and it'll be a new mini treaty. And therefore, while we secure the cube, other races help, like the Andorians are very on the cube, like we see them all around, help to keep it functional and whatever." We've only seen very specific areas of the cube, so like who maintains generators, who does what or what. So I could see it being intergalactic thing. And if it was any other canon, they would include Klingons, but they don't want to show Klingons yet because they would have to answer the question about how they look.
Yeah, and that's why there's Federation members aboard like Soji, because it's a joint effort thing.
Yep.
So no problem.
But I'm sure part of it is there's probably like an oversight committee, and they say, well, all the Borg weapons must be accounted for and properly whatever. But at the end of the day, it's in Roman space, and if the Federation launched an all-out attack to take it back, that would go bad for everyone. So, but yeah, I mean, I want to know more. I mean, the Borg cube could have been the most interesting thing in the show. It isn't. Could have been. But next picture is Picard, some more in different uniform. Then you start having the Soji stuff where she's scrambling, looking at repeated pictures, as you said.
Again, I think that's going to be right after the flashback. She's going to have this dream where she's younger. She's going to wake up. She's going to immediately run to her desk and start dump out a bunch of pictures, start going through them or something, because she has her memories are starting to kind of coalesce or something. And that being said, there is a weapon on her desk. Looks like a weapon. Looks like some kind of disruptor or something by her right hand there.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Well, she flings a thing. She flings that thing to the wall. Oh, is that the? No, I think that's a hollow thing. That talks to her mum with. Because it goes
okay.
Opens up.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a modern version of a disrupt. Lasers almost.
Or a TV remote with a touchscreen.
Yeah, and Ozzy keeps saying one of the photos she looks at is Agnes in one of the pictures. No, Agnes is not in one of the pictures.
I mean, let's do some rotating and see. But I like the idea that she does call. I like the idea she does call her mum, and her mum doesn't know how to process this. She's like, "You're lying to me, fling."
Minis, Models, and Mayhem just joined at the rank of commander. So welcome, another member of the team.
Welcome, fellow commander. Any comment? Are you gonna? No. Okay.
But what happened? What?
Well, does he have a comment?
Oh no.
No. Well, thanks anyway. Welcome. Right. And people are complaining about the fact they're using pictures.
Yeah, and Ozzy says, "Who's the blonde beside her?" Well, it's not Girardi, that's for sure. Somebody her own age, which Girardi's not. She's probably like 10 years older than her at least. Yeah, people have been complaining about the fact that they use photos.
I have no issue. People like books, real books. So why would people not want real photos?
Exactly.
It's the exact same principle. There's a certain novelty that you don't need battery or a pad or a USB or a screen. She's printed out, she's replicated pictures that she took on a photographic holo camera her selfie holographic camera at 26K resolution with a 9 times optical stabilization, and she's replicated them into real pictures so that she can look at them without whatever. Yeah,
And the life dyslexic says Picard had a photo album in Generations. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. And the fact they've got these photos, although, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some were just literally the actress just said I have some pictures, because it's odd to hire unless we see this like as a flashback, her cycling. But I guess it makes bicycles canon. I mean, I know it's a fake version of the future, but for them to think that bikes are okay, bikes are obviously now recanonized.
Matt Deckard says maybe they are hologram or paper pictures. Maybe she used the hologram thing that she talked her mom with to like all these pictures popped out so she could sort through them. And they're holographic.
Why make it that complicated? Just have them replicated. Because reasons. Computer,
Jeff
replicate USB stack 14. Oh, yay.
Exactly. Jeff Jacobs, $2. 2 people joined, so paying at $190, again at $275. Yeah. Hashtag make Jeff pay. Oh, so I get it. When more members join, he lowers his... Okay, see? Now you got the member joining tying in with the like ratio. So 309 of you here. Everybody hit like, and don't forget you can join the channel at the rank of Commander, Captain, or Admiral.
Yeah.
Yay.
But I'm wondering... I don't know if you agree, but the...
Probably not.
In the middle picture, the Soji, the one in red, looks so badly photoshopped in.
Yep.
It's a really poor Photoshop. The main 3 fine, but the other one's not very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was a real picture of the actress. They just said, do you have any pictures we can use? And they photoshopped in the necklace, because you can see a necklace, and they put like, all right, now you're in your red outfit from the the scene you did 2 days earlier. Just do this. Can you put you in? Because she's wearing the same outfit, it looks like.
Did you hear they're selling that necklace on StarTrek.com for $85, and it's already sold out? And Rambling Canuck, who told me, was like, well, how's it sold out already at $85? It's not made of silver or anything. It's just a necklace. And I'm like, well, they can only be made in pairs, so they only made 2 of them. They underestimated their target market.
$85.
Yeah.
That's shocking. Wow. It's like the simplest possible necklace. I mean, it makes an easy cosplay. I mean, you can imagine in Vegas, some people just wearing a red jumpsuit with that necklace. Look, I'm Soji!
I could make it. You could just get like a silver chain. You get 2 keychain rings. You'll glue them together or weld them together, put them on the chain, and you got the necklace. You don't need to pay $85 for that.
Wow.
SWTX Chaser, though, puts in $2.
Thank you.
Pull Judge Dredd. Fake photos in lab. That was altered.
I mean, they're definitely fake photos. Maybe she say, hey, I see my Photoshop line. she sees your photo. Oh, and Medallion says, yeah, selfies made into the future. Yeah, that's true. The selfies are officially recanonized.
Matt Deckard wants to make the Trekyards version of the necklace.
Or what would that be? Just
a necklace with a big turd on it. I don't know. Skipped my super chat. It says not a banned account. No, I didn't. Oh, I did. Goddamn. Not a banned account. $5.
Thank you.
Next episode, someone gets their privates removed as torture. This Trek is more Game of Thrones. Probably Picard or Elrond. Or United Federation press revealed Trump-like.
I think it'll be a very story-focused episode without any sort of grit. I think that'll come later as another reveal happens. I think this will be quite a PG one. It's a different director now. We've now gone through our Frakes era. We're now into the next director's era.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, she's scrambling. She's seeing pictures. Yeah.
And Twisted with Melancholy. Trekyard's idea. Trekyard's necklace idea. A nacelle on a chain.
Or just like take the outline of our delta, and then connect those two.
Oh. I mean, I've put this on a chain before and made it a necklace. You've seen it. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway.
Next, we have the very unlikable cube set design.
Oh, yes. That's the slidey hallway.
Yeah. I mean,
It's probably not, but...
No, well, it was all a redress, isn't it? Because in fact, I don't know if you've noticed, but and we see it in a minute. Actually, I'll bring it up then. But everything's a redress. I mean, they're saving money, good for them. But again, I don't know where the money's going. The show is heavily Patrick Stewart budgeted apparently because it's not going on screen. And this is I'm sure this is the scene where Hugh is doing something. Now, is this Hugh agreeing to help Picard get Darj out? Is that going to happen all in this episode? Are they going to have that running moment in this episode? Is it going to be that easy?
Yeah, because this is the scene we see in the trailers where they're running down the hallway
with a flashlight, exactly as
I can see them ending this episode with them, having an escape plan, getting to just about ready to get off the cube, and all of a sudden something happens and they're stuck on the cube till the next episode. But yeah, it seems like they're going to get on and relatively easily try to get off of the cube, but whether that happens or not, I don't know. So
I like that though.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of them not getting off until the end. Or until the next episode. Which is not bad.
Minnie's Models and Mayhem put in £2 Cap. He was the one that made these Lego figures. We'll sort the hair. Yeah. Thank you. We really appreciate those.
Yeah, I love them. I still want those Doctor Who ones, but you were busy. Because you're talented. That's why you're busy.
I have red hair.
And to be fair, though, I could do with a new Lego of me in all my uniforms, because I have several. That'd be kind of cool. Monster Maroon version, and cause I got a Nemesis costume now, and
plus you need a Trekyards logo on mine at least.
Yeah.
Sure. Not just the regular Delta.
So that'd be kind of cool.
We're getting picky now.
Yeah, but
Give the Lego figure a goatee. It has a goatee, even though I don't have a real goatee. Let's see, there. But you got to change that Delta to like a Trekyards Delta, and give me the right color hair. And get
version 2
the connector parts, because I don't have those because I can't grow them to save my life.
It makes you more stylistic, Stuart.
Yes, thank you.
And you don't have no eyebrows either with that light.
Yes, this has eyebrows. I also have eyebrows, but you can't see them. So,
whereas mine are thick and bushy and brown.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the hallway. Yeah, no, I like the idea of maybe at the end. I think maybe the Romulan lady kind of corners them, or some such. Because I keep saying there'll be another plot that'll be revealed in the last bit. I can imagine the last third, which is what it's going to be after this, pretty much, is maybe them running from the Romulans, from the Jatavash specifically. They have Darj, they have a ship. Now they're being hunted. Now what do? Well, then they go to maybe Riken asks for help. Then,
well, go to the next picture, because it's a shot of, looks like Hugh holding a flashlight and Picard turning around to look behind them, and it looks like they're going to the room with all the crazy Romulans.
Sure. Well,
probably maybe to get Ramda for some reason.
So the problem with this, though, is this I was trying to say a minute ago that I waited for this shot. This same room was the mess hall, was the Crazy Romulan room, was the room where they torture, where they get stuff off people. It's the same room for every single set. So it's just the room set they have. It's not the crazy one, it's just the room set.
Minnie's Models and Mayhem says, I have a new job now, Samuel, so I have a bit more time. But now he works for the company who makes the Star Trek role-playing game.
Oh!
Very, very cool.
Yeah, we've been approached by them 3 times, and it's never gone anywhere. I've always emailed back, and they never got back to me. As in, they never... Yeah, they were going to give us stuff to promote the new thing, and blah, 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 blah. Never.
Send us stuff. We'll promote it, for sure. Stuart, Daniel says, Stuart, I know this is off topic. I've always wondered, why does your avatar look more like your brother than yourself? Well, everybody says me and my brother look exactly alike, so I don't know, because he's fitter, and they didn't put the gut on the avatar as per my request. I want him to look more athletic. That's probably why. See, Dan met me and my brother. He was in Ticonderoga.
Dan?
And yeah, Dan Hall.
Oh, sorry. I thought you missaid my name. I was like, what?
You've met him too.
Right, yeah.
In Ticonderoga. So there you go.
Yeah. It's very confused everything.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Help me, Ramda. Help me, Ramda. Help her get out of my queue. That's funny. Let me prod the guy I sit next to him. I told him to contact you guys in the first place. Oh, there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were contacted by a lady like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I guess that was the old marketing person, and they just never went anywhere. And this last person I did email, and then 3 back and forth. And it's funny, they said to me, "Hey, have you heard of our game?" I'm like, "Yes, I've helped Tobias Richter with your game. I've been emailing you 3 times. Like, yes, I know about your game. I've always helped you with some renders, almost. I've helped Tobias on your game. I know all about it. We'd love to support it, you know." But yeah, funny. And then there's some great artwork. I don't know if you've seen the big books I do, but the artwork's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Indeed.
But yes, I at least like in this that Hugh is with Picard actually doing stuff. Because I want to see that connective tissue, you know?
The next scene is why I think this is the room full of all the crazy Romulans, because they need this cube that the guy was playing with, the Rubik's Cube puzzle thing.
I don't know.
And Cade MacArthur says the Trekyards have a flagship, and Jeff says, yes, the Foley class. No. There's the Foley class, and there's also the USS Horizon that was designed by Samuel. So we've each designed a ship. So we don't have a flagship per se, but no.
And part of our in-universe funds that were from different eras, and therefore we have very different things. We've come together through time to talk almost. And neither ships are flagships. Your ship is more about power and fleet control. Mine's more about exploration and classic Gene stuff, Mr. Roddenberry.
Speaking of role-playing games, we had a whole motion picture motion comic idea.
Motion picture comic.
Where myself from the TOS era ends up meeting Samuel somehow, and that's a very key element. And he's post-Nemesis era with the... That's why our avatars look like the way they do, and there's a whole story behind it. But anyway.
And it's good, and even like your prequel thing about the Klingons and that scene, and yeah. Whole load of fun things. I'm sure those Word documents exist somewhere on my PC.
Yeah, we've got all the outline for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Eugene, 250 rubles. I think we won't see La Serena team until the second half of the episode, and the episode cliffhanger before Picard meets Soji. I could totally 100% see that. The first half is going to be Narek and Soji on the cube, them discussing getting into Romulan space. Then, they're going to get to the cube, get on board, meet up with Hugh, and then, it's going to be... They're not going to meet up with Soji this episode, but next. That's a good call. It's a good call.
Well, that's interesting. We see 2 images that make me intrigued. This one where he's talking to Hugh, and there's a force field that goes down. That could imply Soji's been restrained or some such. But you also get Picard being grabbed by people that either could be, ex-Borg in partial Borg costume, because why not? Or Romulan officers in partial costume. Now, if they're Romulan officers, it could be cliffhanger, he got captured. If it's Borg, it could be much earlier, just like Descent with Riker. He beams on and they get grabbed by the ex-Borg, and then Hugh turns up and says, "Picard, what have you done?" So I could see that being either way, ending with the dum-dum-dum, it's Hugh. Hugh? I thought you were in the Delta Quadrant. No, Picard, I'm here. But I kind of prefer the idea that he gets Daj and they start to leave, and then either they do leave just, or something stops them. Maybe part of the reveal, maybe like, you can't leave here, do you want to destroy the universe? I don't know.
Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $5. So my prediction, we are actually going to get some substance more than ripping an eyeball out, and the threads will begin to tie together. That's our hope. I don't know if it's our prediction, but yes, lots of loose ends to tie up.
Well, do we even want that though? With how many there could still be? Otherwise, it's like the dull setup, the dull payoff isn't going to quite. But we're still on the screen about the Rubik's Cube and what that might play, because we see it twice. We see it once and then opened with a person. Now it's very unclear who is in this room with the Rubik's Cube, because the person on the left looks like sort of Roman-ish garb. The person on the right is wearing a zip, black and with a zip. I don't think that's what Picard is wearing, fabric-wise.
Could be Narek and his sister.
Could be Narek and his sister, yeah.
That makes the most sense from the clothes that I'm seeing.
Or it could just be a cool visual they had that maybe he goes and talks to crazy people, whatever, and they open it up as just a part of a sequence saying, "Look, Picard, this is an antique from." Maybe this is like a hidden USB that has some secrets from the past. I don't know. This whole thing, it looks like it doesn't mean a thing, but also might mean a lot. You know?
Yeah. I'm just flipping through the pictures now, and that room with the candlelight, I'm changing my mind on that. I gotta say, sorry for jumping all over.
It's fine. No, well, that's the next one. He takes and he also has the box in his hand. Yeah, he's wearing the leather one, so he's the one that whoever is holding the thing up to is holding up to him. Okay.
See, it looks like it was a come here with this romantic thing. Get in the room. He says something to her. She closes her eyes, and then if you'll notice, the next few scenes is the room's filling with red gas, and I guess she gets activated because she starts like trying to break out like through the floor.
Yeah, I bet he tells her it's poison gas, and you have to use. You're stronger than any human. You can get out of this. There's a panel
just to activate her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you will die if you're human. Wink, wink. What?
And it looks like there's writing or some kind of script underneath where she's punching.
I thought it could just be like a switch, just like hidden underneath. But yeah, it could be way. But that'd be kind of fun. It's like if you're not human, this won't kill you. If you are human, it will. But it triggers her to escape, proving that no human could punch that way. It feels like a very odd scene. But another Fisher 2000 is it another Borg ritual?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully a very quick scene. We don't need it, I mean, we need it, but we don't need it to be dwelled on. It feels like one of those like odd scenes. I'm not really gagging for.
Yeah.
Especially since Soji was activated like straight away. It's weird to. Yeah.
Yeah, and the picture right after that is a picture of Soji and somebody else that's ripped apart. Now, is that supposed to be Daj?
Yes.
Is it, though? Because she's not wearing the necklace. I mean, one of them is.
Under a jumper.
Soji.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, ripped apart. And it's not her hands holding it. It looks like Picard's because they're old and wrinkly.
Yes.
So she sorts through the pictures, finds it, gets a memory that Daj might be dead because of what Ramda said, and rips the picture apart for some reason, or Narek grabs it and rips it apart to, again, try to activate her. I don't know. I mean, lots of possibilities there.
But yeah, great supposition. I mean, it might be that if the mum hologram knew that Daj was dead, would the mum hologram know that Maddox was dead? In which case, she might then trigger and tell Soji. That's why she flings it across the room. That's why she rips it. It's like, oh, my whole life was a lie. Maybe basically she's activated by the death of Maddox. Because I mean, I can imagine that would play into it somehow. Because does she have a purpose now? If the reason for her to exist was Maddox and his mission is gone. I don't know.
Eric says emergency mom protocol.
No, seriously, yeah.
And Donnie's here. Hello, Stuart and Sam, and all. Sorry for the delay. Don't worry, Donnie. Thank you very much for joining us. 321 of you here. Everybody hit that like button. Donnie, that includes you. You just got
yes.
Haven't hit like. You know what? Hit the like button.
Yes, please do. I think. Yeah, he's brought in for. I'll show you the secrets. Locks her and tries to kill her, and after she escapes, he shows her the box, and inside is like, this is a trinket from our past. I'm a historian, so I'm a historian, Soji. This idol represents. This was a hidden idol from our past. The eyes being closed represents we can never look back because our past is so drastic that we we created AI, synthetic, whatever, and hopefully not the Borg, hopefully just something else.
So I think it's a representation of the destroyer in that box.
Well, that's what I mean. The destroyer is the one that created it all, created the thing that stopped them from I'd be fine with the proto Romulans in the Vulcan society creating an artificial intelligence because they'd warped technology for a long time. Creating, the TOS Enterprise computer you could sort of say is an AI to some extent, right? It's not, not that hard to say. I mean, the Genobulans and Vulcans have more tech than NX-01, so fine. That long ago they made an AI and it went wrong, and this is a representation of that. But for the Borg is too far. But just I hate AI and artificial intelligences would be fine to link to the Borg as I hate this, therefore this, but not direct, please. Not direct, please.
Yeah. We also get a shot of Narek's sister, and I think this might be one of the ending scenes. To be honest, they capture Picard,
absolutely,
and you see her walking towards him, and it's dun dun dun.
Hello, Jean-Luc. Do I know you? No, but I know you.
I used to work for Commodore O.
Commodore O.
We know everything about you.
You had toast for breakfast.
Oh.
What?
I can smell it. You had smoked meat for breakfast. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong species.
But I mean, what a look. What a look this person has. Big ears, menacing. I hope this actress is given something to do. Because she's better than the material she's given.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think, based on the look, I could extrapolate that she's the one holding out the box because of her sort of costume is flowy robes. And I could kind of say the flowy robes is what the... And the hand, I mean, the hand could be male or female, I can't tell. But I could buy it being a girl's hand. So I could see him showing Narek, look, brother. This is, I found this relic from the past, la la la. Because that would make, remind him, after the incident with the gas and stuff, she's like, you are failing me, Narek. This represents, or maybe that's like an omen of death. This is now on you. If you fail, the omen of death is you.
Or we hear you're looking for Soji. Soji, do you know that she's the destroyer? She will bring about the downfall of all organic life. Blah, 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 blah. Trying to turn him against trying to rescue her.
And then these people grabbing Picard. Borg or Romulan? That's the question. Or I should say ex-Borg or Romulan.
See.
So I kind of see armor on them, kind of like Hugh's wearing.
It also looks like a very feminine arm. It could be the sister. But then again, it's a bulky glove as well. So I could see it being an ex-Borg.
Yeah, I would guess more to get him to Hugh, something like that.
Yeah. See, and then that picture there with Picard, it looks like he's terrified. So he probably gets aboard the Borg cube, has a little bit of a flashback, or kind of like a,
PTSD,
uneasiness, exactly, and then gets grabbed, and he thinks it's the Borg trying to reassimilate him. So he freaks out, and it turns out, no, here, come with us. We got to get you to Hugh or whatever. Yeah.
So I think it's fine to extrapolate that he hasn't set foot on anything Borg related since First Contact, since he almost lost his ship, his crew, the entire timeline. I mean, that's, yes, he might have successfully killed the Queen, la la la, but I can imagine, stepping on a Borg cube again, not happy. And I would certainly be open to seeing flashbacks, to seeing a sense of maybe even as we see him get on the Borg ship, we see like a corridor, first shot, nobody, as they're sneaking in, we see him sort of close his eyes, opens his eyes, and now it's full of Borg, full of the smoke of the strobes, and he like kind of shakes it off. Oh no, because he's like, he remembers what it was like. Now he's back, because he didn't walk on a cube in First Contact. He hasn't been on a cube since he was assimilated, has he?
No, just on the Enterprise E, which was getting assimilated. So
actually, he might very well have really and I wouldn't, we've already had a stunt double for him to do the running scene. If you got the back of his head double, you give that guy the full Acutus makeup, and not have to have Patrick in the makeup, just like have the back of him, and it'd be fun to see like him turn a corner, and then we see Patrick in the background, Locutus in the foreground, but back turned, and all Borg around him, and he's getting PTSD. Because I mean that's a genuine. I would not be surprised if that's a part of this episode. Like I have not seen a Borg cube in 40 years since I was brutally assimilated. This is going to be a thing for me. I mean, I've never even thought that before, but that it should. I mean, it should be addressed, shouldn't it?
Absolutely. And Louis Vere in the comments says, "I love you guys, but you're both the worst role players. Ha 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 ha. Still love you boys. Keep up the good work. LOL." I don't understand. Were we role playing? What?
I don't know. And David Thrivage says, "I love the show, guys. I may not agree with your perspectives, but you do give valuable insight and work hard for your fans." Great.
Thank you. That.
Yeah, balance. We call it good and bad. I mean, we've been very, just call it as it comes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And then, yeah, that last scene of the Borg.
Yes.
That flashback that Picard has, or the, his PTSD. It's obviously not Picard. It's not supposed to be Picard, but.
I think Locutus also was on the other side of his head anyway. I think it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It'd be kind of fun if this was maybe even a flashback to what happened to the cube. So it would be nice to see a sense of the cube being active and all the drones. I mean, this is a good art design for the drones. I mean, this is absolutely fine. This is totally, just I could buy it. I wish that the face maker was a bit more later, but I'm fine with it. It looks nice. But it'd be nice to see like the collective do a sense. It'll be kind of interesting though if we had as soon as Locutus, as soon as Picard walks on the cube, what if several drones that are maybe X-drones but they still need to be recharged, like haven't got to them yet, they've refused to be put in stasis because we don't know what the situation is. What if they suddenly sense Locutus and we get a shot of where he opens his eyes, he's just on his charge cycle, he's ex-Borg now but he wants to keep his implants, and he opens his eyes and says Locutus, and we're like, oh, the Borg are coming for Picard. So that'd be kind of fun.
Actually, I have a feeling that this shot is probably after Hugh meets up with Picard, and then all of a sudden you get this random shot of a pan down on a Borg drone, and goes right in front of them, and then they walk by or something, and then you get another shot of them walking down all the alcoves of Borg that are still in stasis or whatever.
Oh yeah, why not? Yeah,
a cube that the Romulans don't really go to very often, like the Grey Zone.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
Well, it's the only way to keep Picard away from the Romulans is to keep him in the Grey Zone. If the Grey Zone has active, yeah, and why wouldn't you be able to keep them instead? Since we know that the alcoves charge the Borg, that's how they get their power. Aside from getting dusty, stasis could just be them standing there out.
With the feather duster.
Yeah. Stasis could just be standing in their alcove for some reason. I don't know why, but when they said stasis in episode whatever it was, I thought of like an airtight flat pack meat seal. They put in a plastic thing. Goes now we're in stasis. It's like no, it's a bit ridiculous.
I thought of that too because that was the episode where they were like had the Borg on the table and stuff. Yep. It feels very.
Because they were doing that with his components, I guess. So that's why I kind of put that image together.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $5. I am Locutus of Borg. Your life, as it has been, is over. From this time forward, will service us.
Yeah.
Dan23 says, Trekyards, IMDb says, Suma Lee Montano is Soji's mother, Picard episode 6. Who is Suma Lee Montano? I don't even know who that is.
Just the actress.
Yeah, but that was said like I'm supposed to know who that is. Like it's somebody important.
No, just the actress that played the mum. That's why I quantified to say the mum. No, I think this is gonna be one of the better episodes. Again, focus. I think we're gonna stop having both storylines are gonna converge, and hopefully we get episodes, 7, 8, 9, 10 be one long big story with really the
actress that does that actress, Sonali Montano, she did a voice for Transformers Prime. She was RC and Ralph's mom, and I love Transformers Prime.
I was
So
about to say,
very
now
cool.
you like her, don't you, Stuart?
Yes, now I do.
Now you care.
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping though that we've had the Picard as sidekick episodes. Even in the Elnor one, he did stuff, but it wasn't like great stuff, at least for me especially. So hopefully he kind of like, because this is where the story's going to take this hard right turn into action. So hopefully this is where Picard, because think about, would Patrick Stewart really want to come back just for what he's been given so far? Well, no. You know, he's been given no acting challenges except that one scene with Seven, which is like a minute. So at some point we're going to get to stuff that he like is the meat of his journey here.
Mhm.
And dealing with the PTSD of a Borg cube, but yet fighting through it to save Data's daughter, you know, that would all be nice. Yeah. There's all potential, this one. And yeah, I think definitely some sort of cliffhanger-ness, even if they just leave the cube and then the Romulan lady's like, well, after them, you fools, send all of our ships. You know, and then we see this big, you know, decloaking spree of different Romulan ships around the cube, and they start to go after Picard. Could be kind of fun.
Gabbardy says something has to happen with the cube. You can't have a Borg cube in the series and not use it for anything else than being a sock sliding arena.
Yeah. Just the general setup for most of the plot lines has been poor. You know.
Yeah. No flag officer should beam over in a dangerous mission, says Ozzy. It's not quite the quote, but close enough.
He's also not an officer anymore, so does what he wants.
Wait. Eric Eplenden. Random thought, would HAL 9000 get along with the Borg? Or has he way too much individuality?
That's funny.
Borgie, give me your answer true. I'm half assimilated over the likes of you.
I want your technology to make my light go more sparkly. But Ensign Ricky Stewart, the super chat.
Trekyards Improv Hour, everyone.
Best hour of your day.
Oh, man. Sorry, what?
Ensign Ricky.
What about Ensign Ricky? Oh,
Super
he has
chat.
a super chat. Oh, hi, Ensign Ricky. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
$2. No better time to bring back General Order 24.
That's the Captain Garth to destroy all life on a planet order. I just googled it. Pretty drastic.
Very drastic.
Yeah. But we're almost there. Tomorrow, I guess people have watched it. I'll watch it on Friday. As you guys know, I'm not here for the live that day, so you'll have the normal videos, and then on the weekend have some videos, and then on Monday we'll have the live. But hopefully this one is the one where it truly picks up. Obviously, this week's last one I thought is best so far. Hopefully you'll like the next one. Hopefully we don't swap. Hopefully we both like this next one, and it's not I don't like it for many stupid reasons. You don't like it for many stupid reasons, or you do like it for stupid reasons. Hopefully now the last 4 are good, just solidly good. You know, we've now gone through the build. You know, everything's been set up for these points, Stuart. That's what setups are. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of Q coming back in the chat now, and yeah, I'm sure you turn up sooner or later, or at least be mentioned, but we'll see.
Yeah, so guys, if you got any more thoughts, I think we're going to wrap to a close now as we're out of pictures and also about out of time. So any sort of final thoughts, predictions, any super chat predictions, and we can read them out. We'd love to get another $20 would be great. Again, a quite quiet one, but that's okay, you know. We're here either way, so, and also thanks for people joining the channel. That does make a big difference.
And Ozzy says you'll be here Monday, Commander. Yes, we're not doing the live reaction to this one on Friday this week. It'll be on Monday. So keep that in mind, guys. This is a little bit of a different week for that. So, but also my first reaction video at 10:30 tomorrow evening Eastern Standard Time. So, Fiddleheads puts in $2. Opening
Thanks.
theme: impact of assimilation on Picard's brain.
Yeah. Could be fun. Well, not fun for him, obviously, but. And thanks, Joey. We do try. I mean, this one feels like it's much more clean cut.
It looks like we're actually going to get some answers and have a progression of the plot.
Yeah.
It felt like the last 2 episodes are kind of standalone episodes, and I hope the rest are just continuing on with the story.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we're meant to be invested in, you know. So, do you think by the end, then we're going to have Soji actually activated? Like, where along that line do you think we're going to be?
I think she's probably going to be activated by the end of this episode.
Okay.
If not fully activated, at least I can't know if there's any differentiation there, but I think she might get activated, and they have to actually like stun her or something to get her off the cube, and she's going to wake up like separate from the cube. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it'll be this episode where we get her activation. Or she becomes pregnant, says Ozzy. Yeah, maybe she has a little Narek growing inside of her. That'd be interesting. Zot Vash, you hate the. So that'd be interesting.
Do you think Narek is actually falling for her in any way, or is it all a ploy?
It's all a ploy.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think that if they pull that, that's just stupid, because they haven't earned that at all. So no.
Yeah, 100%. How much Hugh do you think we're going to get?
A huge amount. I think we're going to get quite a bit of Hugh dialogue. So.
I mean, remember Hugh said most of my scenes are with Picard alone in a room. And we haven't had that yet, and he's been in one. But he could have filmed stuff out of order. You know, maybe No, it's fine. Oh, you muted.
No, I'm not. Fiddleheads puts in $2.
Thank you.
Her AI mom will tell her to seek out Picard. Maybe. Eugene, 400 rubles. Thank you very much. This episode may be the best so far. Minimal presence of Picard, less dumping on old Trek, more isolated story. But it may be the worst as well. Romulans are original Borg. It's all Discovery Season 3 prequel, and so on.
Yep.
That's a very
well said.
Thought.
Well said, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jarzia puts in $2. I predict a decent, exciting episode. Fingers crossed. Yep, I also do. From what I've seen, I mean, this one looks good. It looks like something that'll be interesting, and actually get some story progression, which is great. So I am very hopeful.
Which is probably not even a good thing. Expectations were so low last week that it was well above them. But we're thinking, we're pretty good, and then it's not the best.
That's a bit of a problem, yeah.
Because this show is definitely not a great show. You know, it's on the weaker spectrum of Trek shows.
It's a great show, but it's GRATE. It grates on your your consciousness.
Yeah, it just feels like they didn't quite know what they were doing as they were making it. I mean, you could honestly believe, if I said to you, they made each episode up as they went along, I think you could buy that.
Yeah.
You know.
So far, yes. We'll have to see how it wraps up, though, because I think from here on in,
yes,
I hope we get some exciting stuff. So.
Because, I mean, the legwork's been done, theoretically.
Yep.
But, I mean, they need to have so much more to care about for Soji, because she's actually really fallen kind of flat. And Narek less good than he was, because he's all about that now. And the sister's barely in it. I mean, you know.
Gabardie says they have the foundation to make it good. They just didn't yet. Not sure what they were thinking.
Yep. But, I mean, Season 2 of Discovery was much better. So hopefully Season 2 of Picard will sort of work out what worked and what didn't work. Because a lot of the time you don't know until you get to the edit. You know?
Yeah. Well, Philip Ingram puts in €5. I love you guys, but as a diehard beginning to lose faith, beginning to lose faith. As a diehard beginning to lose faith. There you go. Disco Klingons and then just losing it.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the Klingon so far, which is Worf, looked exactly like he was supposed to in his very first episode. So
it was stock footage though, so it'd be hard if they made that look wrong if it was stock footage. But yes.
Oh, Daniel Hall says Shabon is the showrunner from this point on. Should be interesting to see if there is any difference.
Well,
he took over like. I don't know.
Because I know he's left now, so he's no longer showrunner. Maybe.
Didn't the Borg Queen say that there are thousands of years old and have simulated thousands of, well, countless worlds? I think she said.
But I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
There should be no great surprise there. Yeah, I mean, there should be no link between Borg and Romulans. But that said, I mean, because you haven't also looked to the Elder Quadrant. I said this to a friend earlier today that if there was to be a Borg connection, I guess it would make sense because they could use the pre-TOS time suit, which can also travel anywhere in the galaxy instantly, and therefore one single drone could travel anywhere in the galaxy's Delta Quadrant and back in time, easy. And it was all built 20th century or pre-TOS tech. I mean, it is that easy, unlimited time and galaxy traveling technology.
And Phil had says thousands of generations according to Guinan, but how much did they really know about the Borg? As we kind of talked about in that episode.
Yeah.
She was just reading what she had learned,
She doesn't react to them as if they're Borg, because they haven't invented the Borg properly yet. But she would be more fearful than what she was in reality. We see her, look at your monitors like, yes, it's them. And then you cut to like Voyager and they're assimilating whole populations, and it's like, and then you cut to her, she's like, yes, it's the Borg. They'll come after us. It's like, well, yeah, they're dangerous. Leave, maybe. God damn, Guinan, show a bit more fear and concern. They killed all your people. Come on. They hadn't quite worked that out yet.
Yeah. Christopher Philip Hone says, what I like about Trekyards is it's not all about people bashing the show. I mean, the show may not be perfect, but I find it enjoyable, in my opinion. Yeah. There's lots of things enjoyable in both Discovery and this. So.
Yeah, I've never got the point of bashing or even pointless praise. As I said before, there are people that walked out of the Discovery premiere. Obviously, it's different in the premiere because the atmosphere is like, oh my god, of season 1 Discovery, and they say, oh, it's amazing, and it's like, no, the first episodes are bad. They're not good. They're some of the worst of Discovery. But they want to praise. They just want to find positive things, and those people you can't trust either because they just want to find positives. And therefore,
people said positive things about the Phantom Menace too, and then it started to slowly sink in because there was just the hype and the build-up. Absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas and I quite like to look at these episodes like any pre-existing, because I think if I watched your pre-review, your first reaction when I woke up, say, your feelings would change my feelings. They'd have to, or worst Trek episode in history. I'd go in thinking, oh wow, or best. We had one episode of TNG or something where they said this episode's awful, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. Why put, what I mean? So don't trust either. Trust the middle. Trust those that can give many fluid points about different things. That can say, oh, this scene was great because this Borg is a great art direction. Good job, but the corridor's not good. I mean, there's a good, there's a bad. It's not, everything is everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, final super chat, and then we can stop, and then I guess I can go to sleep. Not really. I've got to do one more thing, and then I've got to pack for a convention at the weekend. I've got to do all the prep for tomorrow's. Well, the day after film, I've got to do that prep. Yeah.
So one more super chat. Let's get the last super chat. Who wants the last super chat title?
The winner of the last super chat award
is
Well, how many likes do we have as well? Are we at enough likes? 220, 233, no. 250, come on. Come on. Some of you have not clicked the like button. I know you haven't. I can see that you haven't. Just click like.
You can see everything, guys. I'd be worried.
Come on, 235. What's that number jump? You have not clicked like. I haven't.
There's a lot of people out there that haven't hit like yet. Just hit the like button, guys. Ensign Ricky throws in $5. Trekyards is literally one of the very few channels that have built a legitimate following on YouTube without resorting to the insta-hate click method. Well, thank you, Ensign Ricky. That means a lot. And Ensign Ricky, by the way, was our very first super chat. So it's worth pointing that out. Ensign Ricky has been here for a long time.
Wow.
And when we first started experimenting with the lives, he was the first super chat. So we got to give him. He's a good guy. Plus, he makes great videos. Go subscribe to Ensign Ricky. Just click on his name, go to his channel, and hit subscribe.
That is amazing. That is absolutely awesome. I love it.
Yes, and that was the last super chat then. And it's a great way to finish off, I think.
All right. Well, we will see you all a bit later then. Have a great rest of the night. And Stuart, any last thoughts on saying goodbye? Yeah, just like words of wisdom.
No words of wisdom. But I was going to say, considering that we're not doing a live on Friday, I might do a live earlier on Friday afternoon, just myself. Just pick a topic. I'll talk about something, and we'll maybe do that just to fix. We don't want you suffering withdrawal. Did I disappear? I did disappear. Yeah, we don't want you suffering withdrawal. So maybe I'll do one Friday afternoon sometime, like 3 Eastern Standard Time or something.
People will tune in at the same time, be like, "Oh, where's the live?" And it's like, "I'm sorry." But we're excited, guys. I know we're going to enjoy our edited review this week. It's going to be quite a fun one. That's a no spoiler free review this week, so we'll not have time. Like Friday's going to be absolutely down to the wire with what I can and can't do. It's like as soon as I finish Saturday, Sunday's videos, we're driving to Birmingham, and you know the convention starts at 7, and I will not be done by 7. So you know I'm there for the second day.
Starting super early for filming.
Yeah, well, it made a big difference. So yeah, I guess I'll see you on Friday, Stuart. Good luck with your first reaction. I know you always kick ass and pure love it, and we'll see you soon. So until next time, here's Captain Foley.
I am, and I'm Captain Foley.
You are, and he's Captain Foley.
I still am. And Jeff Jacobs puts counting on the likes and paying for 250, and Eugene 250 rubles. What if it's all a nothing burger, which ends up in episode 8? The real story starts in episode 9 with Riker and Troy. Wow.
Well, they said they were an afterthought. They were sort of put in, so I doubt it's about them. But hopefully they get more than a 5-minute scene. But guys, one more like for 250. Don't make Jeff pay not. Come on, we're at 249.
Okay, I'm going to call one last thing for this episode then.
Oh!
It's been rumored that Riker and Troy are going to be in the next episode. So what's going to happen is they're going to communicate with Earth. They're going to recreate whatever on the holodeck, and he's going to talk to Riker real time, and he's going to say, "I'm going to space to go to this Borg cube to rescue Soji," and Riker's going to be like, "Okay, fine, I'm not going to talk you out of it." And he's like, "Thanks for not talking me out of it." It's like, "No problem, I know better." There you go. Called it.
Yeah, I mean, pace-wise, it's difficult, but Marina did imply that she's in this one, so it's like, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't want more setup. I want them to be a payoff conversation to a payoff action based on the next devastating situation. But yes, guys, we'll see you soon.
That's right. I'm Captain Foley.
Good. There we go. I'm Connor Coggins. Yep, you are, and I'm Connor Coggins. Aren't I?
Yeah, he's Commander Cockings. There you go.
There you go.
That's what he wanted to hear.
Bye, guys.
Bye.